Yes, we're back, and this is one of those important ones because I've been from the previous interviews. Mmesikia nikisema the financial literacy segment was my favorite, and we are honored to have the facilitator for that, Olivia Ambani. She's here, singer, songwriter.
Yes, singer, songwriter, marketing consultant, and money enthusiast.
Yes. So conversations are pesa.
Yes.
As in, I was in cohort 1, and one of my favorite segments and sessions was the financial literacy piece, as in the execution and the insight. Ilikuwa amazing. Mpaka niko like, man, us guys are getting so much game for free.
Yes.
It was dope. So how was your experience being one of the lecturers at Passion to Profit?
I think for me it was fantastic. It was kind of a dream aligning. A few years before, let's say 2 years before I did the training, I started to be very deliberate about talking publicly about money. So I have a series on my Instagram called Money Conversations, where I just share my journey in money, and then I invite like experts on to share like insights. And I did that for personal reasons because I realized that I wanted to grow and I can't grow in isolation.
True.
And then secondly, as a creative, I kept hearing this phrase that, they're bad with money, we're bad with money. It was like an identity that was, and I was like, no, that's not true. I think it's just a state of mind. And so I decided that if I as a creative started to publicly talk about money, I can trigger or maybe change other people's perception.
True.
To show that it is possible to learn, it's possible to grow, and hopefully create a community where we stop shaming people about money.
Yes.
And then fast forward to when I did the cohort, like the training, I had been recommended to like Sasa by different people to do it because of that
Your Instagram
series, the series on Instagram. And so when I was doing it, I was like, this is my chance, like directly to creatives and being very impactful. I was really thinking about, if they leave after 90 minutes, can they action at least one thing? That was how I was actually putting the training together. And I thought about basics as well as like maybe a bit intermediate.
True.
Because I felt like, the class had a range of people. And so for me, it was literally a dream come true, like one of my agendas to change the way creatives think about money.
And I've personally, being one of the creatives who was there as a podcaster, I learned a lot. And even talking to other people who walikuwa kwa the segment for our session, for the other sessions, everyone agrees like, the financial literacy class segment ilikuwa poa, manze nililearn a lot. And so many people run away from legal conversations and delicate money conversations.
Yes.
So seeing people actually gravitating towards that was very, 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 very powerful. And us guys are forever grateful. Kama hujapatiwa flowers zako for hii session, us guys is back to basics. We're giving you proper flowers. So being a creative, you're doubling up as a creative and a money enthusiast. How important are master classes like what us guys have done recently for Passion to Profit? As in, how significant and how important is that, and how frequent and regular should that happen?
Firstly, they're extremely important, and I want to really applaud the team for Hustle Sasa and everyone who was part of creating it, because they were specific about picking people who are in the industry, actually practically doing it.
Very active.
And so that means that you can give very practical advice, because you can know the knowledge but not know the industry and
True.
not be practicing, so you're out of touch. So one, kudos to them, and thank you for the thought behind that. I think it's very essential, because not just because of the people or trainers, but because of the community you are introduced to. So I'm sure for a lot of you guys, you met 700 other creatives.
Me, I met 999.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And so I think as people in general, we're as powerful as our network and community.
True,
so I think they're very important to have, because they also trigger you out of your normal way of thinking.
Your cocoon.
Yeah, and they help you see, where am I? And then in terms of frequency, I think it would be lovely to have them maybe per quarter. maybe more. But I think when it comes to you choosing one, it's really up to you to decide where am I in my journey and what makes sense for me. And when you attend such masterclasses, be ready to apply, because we can become serial attenders.
Yes, you can.
And then you don't action anything. And so obviously understand the season. Sometimes the knowledge comes now and then 3 years later you action. But it's always great if you try and apply as much as possible. But I think quarterly would be lovely for them to happen, and they're definitely very necessary.
And I also I think we need policy around it, because the money conversation, the disintegrated conversation about the Kenyan creative economy, I think it also boils down to policy issue. Kwanza, us guys, as in nyinyi artists, musicians, Senator Crystal Lasige has been pushing for the Kenyan Association of Musicians, because once that goes through, then I think policy will be mandatory, and then now we can have even book as a speaker. There's a minimum that I'm supposed to pay you.
Yes.
As opposed to now when it's naweza kwambia ni aje nitakuexpose to
hey, that exposure
nitakuexpose to so and so. Yeah? So I feel how far back how progressive are we in terms of policy making?
So I have many thoughts on policy. I think policy is definitely important because it creates an environment that you can thrive in. However, I think as Kenyans, we need to actually free ourselves from always depending on policy. Why? Because your policy is only as good as the people who are receiving the policy. So I actually challenge us as creatives, is the issue really the policy or is it us? So what I say is, let's start from where we are. When we're relating with other creatives, do we pay each other? Are we having honest conversations? Are we accountable? Even if you don't have money, something happened, say so. We understand.
True.
Things happen. Secondly, are we professional? We can ask for money, but will we deliver? Someone books you to, shoot something, perform something, you cancel last minute, all those things matter.
True.
And so I think policy, yes, is important, and we've definitely come a long way because we have more investment with Hiva Fund, Ignite Culture, Hustle Sasa, the work they're doing, because it's now showing there is money in this sector. I think a lot of policies go through when there's money.
Most definitely.
Definitely. We're showing it as an industry that is creating, the GDP is going higher because of creatives. It's also targeting
as guys are contributing to the economy of the day.
Exactly. A lot of young people and as a continent at large, we have the youngest population.
True.
And a lot of them now, the arts is where they can thrive because it's informal. If you have a skill, you can nurture it. So I think the policy is definitely improved. We still have a way to go, but I would challenge us as we are pushing policy, let's also push ourselves to be better so that when the policy comes, we are ready.
Yes.
Because
be prepared.
Yeah, when we see some of the issues we have in a lot of these bodies, let's say in the music bodies, the issue is not the body, the issue is the people running the body.
The management.
Yes, and they are artists, which is the disappointing thing.
Sad.
So, also a key thing I talked about in the class is our mindsets. A lot of people operate from a lack mindset, so they feel like I can't give you because if I give you, I will lose out.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Scarcity mentality.
Yes, scarcity, exactly. If it's mine, it's mine, and we can work together.
Plus, this is the arts.
Yes, there's enough. There's literally, if we all became singers, we would also have people who listen to us.
Most definitely.
I challenge us as artists to actually prepare for the greatness we say we want. What do you need to do? So that when the policy comes, we're the ones who will actually be applying the policy, right? So it doesn't matter how amazing the policy is. If we're not ready for that policy, we will be the ones to break the very same policy we asked for. Yeah. So that's what I would say, we need to work on both sides.
Yeah, that's important. That's a very powerful perspective to it, because I was like, please don't complain.
No, because I'm all about the change.
Of late, I'm operating from a space where we can complain the whole day, or we can gravitate towards solutions.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad you're part of the solution.
Thank
already
you.
Being one of the facilitators at Passion to Profit. That means you're actually a practicing solution-oriented creative.
Absolutely.
Which I'm honored to be a recipient of your knowledge. Now the other thing, we get back to the music kidogo. How does one strike the balance? Because you're a singer, songwriter, as in you make amazing music.
Thank you.
And at the same time, you're heavy invested into financial literacy. So utapata, I'm a podcaster. At least for me, I'm in the legal field and I'm a podcaster, and I do so many other things. I do sketches and ABCD, so at least us guys have alternatives. But for musicians, mtu anafaa, as in your point inakujia wapi when you decide ni aje, I'm not just singing and writing songs, I can also pursue this and that and that and that?
I think it's a very personal question because it depends on the people. So first, it goes down to your beliefs. Like, do you believe that if you do something else, you're cheating on your music? Because there's a lot of people who think like if you do anything else other than your art, then you're not serious.
Real.
Yeah, you're not really.
You're not real.
I don't believe in that school of thought, but that's me. That's my personal belief. I believe that, some people have many things they want to do and they benefit, they complement each other. So one, it's a personal decision. You have to decide. If you choose, let me start with the one where you say, no, I want to do something in the arts or something within music. Wonderful. Then look at your income streams now. Where are you earning? Most times you're earning one or two, but you're not developing the others.
True.
And then why are you earning there? What makes you so good? Is it your contacts? Is it your skill? What makes it so good? Can you maybe increase how much you're earning and then look for other options? So diversify your income in music or in the arts. That's one. The second thing is if you choose to look outside, like I have. So I've diversified within the arts and also outside. And that came, because I'm passionate about all these things, and then the opportunity comes to me. And I'm a big believer in as many income streams as possible. Yay. And if I enjoy it, why not? Right? So I always was like that, even from the beginning. So it's not like I was creative and then chose otherwise. I funded my album by working, as a marketing person, graphic design. So I did many things to fund. So I've always been the person, if you want to make your music happen, figure it out. Figure it out.
Be proactive.
Be proactive. So for me, it was kind of normal to be like, what other way? I always ask myself, what skills do you have? How can you make the most of them? Literally, when I was on the way here, I was asking myself, okay, how was your year? What things did you do right? What things did you do wrong? I like evaluating.
Spotify Wrapped.
Yes,
for yourself.
Spotify Wrapped for my life, Yeah, so I think for people, the level I would say is do an evaluation first, because don't base it on just emotion. Base it on actual facts. Evaluate what you're doing. Do you like it? Is it giving the results? Yes, no. And you can get a friend or someone you trust to help you do that process.
Or even pay for the service.
Yeah, pay for the service, right? After you've done the evaluation, then decide where do you want to expand. And I always recommend don't expand too quickly or too many things, because you will burn out.
Facts.
Maybe pick one thing that you're like, okay, I'm going to invest more in this quarter or this year, and then evaluate and see, is it working or not? Yeah, and then a key thing that will help your income is marketing. Please, guys,
Please preach.
Don't hide your art. Please.
Art is supposed to be outside.
Yes.
Art is like an umbrella.
Yes. And marketing doesn't have to be done the way you're doing it, the way I'm doing it. Find a way that makes sense to you to market your work.
Facts.
You're creative, so get creative on how you market. You don't have to post every day on social media. You don't have to do what everyone is saying. Find a rhythm that makes sense for you. Just the way you paint, the way you do a podcast, the way you do. You found your rhythm.
Facts.
So find your rhythm in money. Find your rhythm in marketing. But I say this because there's a lot of shame around marketing. People feel like, no, you shouldn't, promote yourself. It means you're desperate.
You're overdoing it.
Look,
I'm
if
like,
the
bro.
biggest artist, like the other day, Beyonce released a film. How many people did she call to come and talk about the film? I even saw an ad on YouTube. Beyonce, she probably didn't even
Queen
necessarily.
B.
Yes, if she is marketing, or even let's take Coca-Cola, they literally have it in their policy that a percentage of all the money they earn goes back to marketing.
Even Safaricom. Let's talk about Safaricom.
We all know Coca-Cola, and we'll probably continue to know Coca-Cola.
True.
But because they're deliberate about that, they continue to grow. So again, back to money. You make more money when people know about you and what you are doing.
Stay ready.
Yes.
Thank you. I love that. Tunaweza ongea hapa the That's the reason why I was telling you. I loved your segments about financial literacy. Personally, pia ilitusaidia sana, because being in the industry for this long, simple basics like big bookkeeping, because guys were like, oh shit, I haven't been doing that.
Yeah.
Let me do it. Let me prioritize my budget. Let me offload this here. Let me be disciplined. Let me even have an invoice. I was like, yes, this is important.
Yeah.
So I appreciate Sana. I learned a lot, and I feel like a lot of the guys who are on the cohort pia wata share the same sentiments with me. It was very, 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 very amazing. So Olivia, where can people find your music? How long have you been at it? Which genre of music do you do? Because the last time I saw you performing was last year at Power 254.
Yes.
You, Slim Shaka, Monski, and who's the other poet? Mufasa.
Yes.
Mufasa that was the event that I saw you. What have you been up to since that day?
A lot.
Hustle Sasa most definitely one of it. And then your financial literacy stuff on IG.
Yes.
How, as in, other than Instagram, where else can guys tap into that information? Do you have a pod? Are you doing like classes? Are you a lecturer somewhere?
Yeah, so in terms of like the information, currently not doing any classes, but there's one in the works for next year, because I've had a lot of demand for it. So
I'm into that.
Check out my Instagram. I will be posting on there and my other social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Pretty much most platforms. When it comes to my music, Spotify, Apple Music, I'm there. Follow me on Spotify,
Hustle
so
Sasa?
you can listen. Yeah, Hustle Sasa, not yet.
Please.
No, not yet. Just different conversations I have to have with my, because I have a publishing deal, so just figuring out different people who are involved. So yeah, but basically for now, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel, you can listen to my music there. And then in terms of the type of music I do, so I do two main genres. There's pop soul, which is kind of, I guess, Adele meets, I don't know, John Legend, John Mayer style. And then I also started doing electronic house, Afro house music.
Okay.
So I've done a lot of stuff with
bougie ama piano.
You'll decide whether it's bougie or not. But then I've done stuff with some South African producers, amazing Kenyan producers in that genre. Recently released a music video called Dreams of My Goku on my YouTube channel with SB Fire, amazing producer from Durban, South Africa.
Salute.
So I've got a lot of music out that you can enjoy during Christmas or otherwise. Yeah.
It is the season.
Absolutely. It's a season to enjoy.
Kabisa.
Yeah.
Olivia, I'm extremely honored to have you on the pod. This is Back to Basics, and we always produce as many episodes as we can, and it's all about knowledge about pod yetu ni about hip hop sana, but it's everything inclusive. And being part of the cohort and us guys being in the same space for the grand showcase, it was only right to have you here, at least give you your flowers while you can still smell them.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. And before you leave, how does the grand showcase look walking into Alchemist?
I love it. I think these are the spaces where you go from knowledge to practical. I'm now seeing like what are they putting into action with the things that we taught them.
Science Congress.
Yes. I love it. It's really nice. And then also because for me, I didn't get to see anyone. Like I was teaching and just saw names. So I now can put like faces to names, or at least to just knowing, oh, you're in cohort 1 and 2. So it's wonderful. And I hope that it actually continues, like more of these happen.
It has to. Yeah. It has to. That's one thing. That's a feedback that I think everyone is sending back. Like Hustle Sasa need to figure out how they'll do it frequently. Because it's needed by sana in the industry.
Absolutely. And I think the thing I'd like to ask us as creatives is let's support each other.
Please.
Let's stop waiting for someone else to come and save us. We can save ourselves.
Please.
So like whatever Hustle Sasa is doing, let's promote it, right? Because they've had to, get funds to make it happen. So let us promote them. Let's support our fellow creatives.
Kabisa.
Let's keep the communication going. Because if we do that, then there's less work, right? It's not waiting for someone else to come do it. Like
Facts.
we're already in the group. You're already collectively there do something with that network. Yeah.
Be proactive. Kabisa.
Absolutely.
Olivia, shukran sana.
Asante.
We are honored.
Thank you.
Bless. Back to basics. As is wrapping up. Hii imekuwa the grand showcase. Ondu Street Lawyer, Back to Basics, Hustle Sasa, Passion to Profit. I think we've done a good segment. So acha tuende huko nje to enjoy. I'll see you. Peace.